not a final report for the quarter. It's just letting you know where you're at. It will have the last discharge date of the patient record that you've entered. Just a reminder if you've fallen behind that you need to get some data entered, or if you're on top of things. And just a reminder of where you're sitting with the measures. We'll cover award recognition criteria for 2019 and upcoming dates, how to run measures reports, how to run the mission Lifeline reports, any updates, and then there will be time for questions at the end as well. You'll see a map of the Southwest affiliate. Sometimes you'll hear us discuss that you're part of the Southwest affiliate, and those are the states that are covered in the Southwest affiliate of the American Heart Association. The poll answer was E, A, and B. Michelle, do you have the poll results?
Yes, I do. Out of 9 participants, we had 3 answer the correct answer.
Okay. So this measure started out as EMS first medical contact to PCI within 90 minutes. And then it was adjusted to allow EMS first medical contact to PCI within 120 minutes if the travel time was greater than 45 minutes. So we realized that EMS and hospitals have no control over travel times. So that measure was adjusted to help with those that are in rural areas or have long travel times. So it's not travel distance, but it's travel time of 45 minutes or greater. And then door to balloon still has to be met within 30 minutes. And what that does is it requires communication between EMS and the hospitals to activate from the field. It's not necessarily that we want to give EMS time to get the patient there and then wait till they get there to activate and you have 120 minutes. It doesn't work that way. So there has to be a travel time greater than 45 minutes or greater, and then door to balloon still has to be met within 30 minutes for the 120-minute goal. So just to go over, I put the question at the bottom and then the answers. For A, EMS arrived at the patient at 7. They departed at 7:30. They arrived at the receiving center within 45 minutes. At 7:45, sorry. Yeah, that is 45. No, I'm so sorry. That's only 15 minutes. And then PCI at 8:15. So their first medical contact PCI was 75 minutes. So they still met the 90-minute goal. The next patient, their travel time was 45 minutes, and their door to PCI was 30 minutes. So it was fine that they went over the 90 minutes because they were still within the 120-minute goal. They met that travel time of 45 minutes or greater, and they met the door to balloon within 30 minutes. So patient C, they met the 120 minutes. Their travel time was 45 minutes, but their door to PCI was greater than 30 minutes. So this patient did not fall within the measure, even though they met the 120 minutes, because when you're using the 120 minutes, you have to meet the door to balloon within 30 minutes. So there's a couple of things that could have happened here. Either EMS did not activate from the field, or there may have been some non-system reasons of delay, something that went on in the cath lab. Maybe they had trouble getting access or something like that. So the patient could possibly be excluded. But just looking at the times, this patient would not fall into the measure. Do we have any questions about that?
Yes, Kristen, we just have a clarification question. Is the door in, door out goal at the transferring hospital 30 minutes or 45 minutes for STEMI patients?
Okay, we will go over that in just one second. And when we get to that slide, the goal is the measure will actually allow for 45 minutes. But we'll go over that in just a second, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. So here is a 2019 Mission Lifeline recognition criteria, and this will be based off of your 2018 data. And you are required to enter the entire year for 2018. Last year, it was adjusted a little where you could enter 1 or 2 quarters, but this year you will have to enter the entire 2018 calendar year. So we'll go down the STEMI recognition criteria side. In red, you will see the Mission Lifeline Receiving Center, and this is for your cath labs that are 24/7. You must have 36 STEMI records for the year. If you're a referring center on the blue side, you have to have 8 or more STEMI records entered for the year. Your composite score of 85% or greater for receiving centers, and then achievement score in each measure of 75% or greater. So if we're back on the red side, you'll see when you go down the left side, they have a goal of arrival to PCI within 90 minutes, and then the EMS first medical contact PCI within 90 minutes or 120 minutes when the EMS drop time is 45 minutes or greater and door to balloon within 30 minutes. And then you have the following measures: the aspirin on arrival, aspirin on discharge, and the rest of those are for patients that are discharged from your facility. So on the blue side, the referral center side, the non-PCI centers, their goals are arrival to 12-lead ECG within 10 minutes. There's a door-in, door-out goal. The measure allows for 45 minutes. And then there's a door-to-needle time for 30 minutes or less. The ones across the bottom that are shared for receiving and referral centers that starts with aspirin on arrival and goes through smoking cessation, those only apply to referral centers if the patient stays at your facility and discharged home for whatever reason. If they refuse to go to a receiving center or for whatever reason, those measures would apply only for the patients that stay and discharge home from your facility. Are there any questions about that, the differences?
No questions so far.
Okay. At one time, the door-in, door-out goal was 30 minutes. It's very difficult to do. I think about only 20% of referral centers in the nation were able to meet that goal, and so it was extended out to 45 minutes. But I will say, if it's not looking like that you're going to be able to get on in and out your door within 45 minutes and to a PCI center for PCI within 120 minutes, then the measure that would apply to you would be the door to needle within 30 minutes. So that's something to be thinking about. Am I going to be able to get this patient in and out in 45 minutes to get PCI, or am I needing to give lytics within 30 minutes? For the non-STEMI measures, again, the same thing. On the left-hand side, you have the receiving centers, the PCI centers. You would need to enter at least 36 NSTEMI records a year. For referring centers, it's 8 for the year. It's 85% or greater on these non-STEMI measures. So it was only 75% on STEMI, but it is 85% or greater on NSTEMI. And you must meet the dual antiplatelet therapy measure at 65%. And then you'll see the rest of the measures that apply to NSTEMI patients: the outpatient cardiac rehab referral, ACE-ARB, dual antiplatelet therapy on discharge, and smoking cessation. So you have all of those. In order to be recognized, you'll see at the very bottom that you need to enter your STEMI and NSTEMI data for calendar year 2018 and to get with the guidelines CAD by February 28, 2019. So it's your calendar year 2018 data that needs to be entered by February 28. All 4 quarters are required, like I said. I know last year it was different where you only had to enter 1 or 2, but for 2018 calendar year, all 4 quarters have to be entered. In order to receive a bronze award, at least 1/4 of data has to meet the measure requirements that we just went over. Silver is 4 consecutive quarters of data that meet the measure requirements, and then gold would be you were silver last year and all 4 quarters for the calendar year this year meet the measure requirements. I also want to encourage you to reach out to your EMS systems. They can participate in Mission Lifeline EMS it's free to them. There's no cost. In the past, they entered their data annually, and they are now able to enter it quarterly and receive feedback from their local QSI director. So if you're working closely with your EMS, please encourage them to participate in Mission Lifeline EMS recognition. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lonnie. She's going to go over running reports and patient drill down.
Good morning, everyone. This is Lonnie Den. Would someone come off mute and just let me know if you can hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. Lonnie.
Thank you. Okay, great. So,
Lonnie, would you like me to put up the polling question?
Let's do that after I get done doing the live demo.
Okay.
Let's do that one. So welcome, everyone. Good morning. I wish we were all sitting around the table drinking coffee with each other this morning, but just happy that we're able to connect remotely, and thank you again for joining. So I'm going to share my screen and do a live demo. I want to make sure that everybody knows how to get their data out and is aware of all the different ways that you can pull that data back out so that it can be useful to you and your teams. I'll share my screen.
I can see your screen, Lonnie.
Okay, thank you. So this is just a demo hospital. This is a demo site that I'm in, so just be aware of that. It's not a real hospital, but it does look just like the IRP that you go into and work in. And so if you click into the operational report section, this is what it looks like. So you're able to do your raw data downloads. You can get everything back that you've entered into the registry. You can get your Mission Lifeline report, and Kristen's going to go into this in more detail after I get done with a live demo. And then this is a section I'm going to show you where you can go in and get your measure reports. And so here's all the different things you can choose. You can run these reports in a lot of different ways. Like you can just get your hospital data. You can benchmark yourself to all the hospitals in the IRP, or just specific, if you're an academic center and you want to benchmark yourself to other academic facilities. If you want to benchmark to the rest of the state, you can do all of that here. If you want to pull the information by physician, so let's say you have a particular interventionalist who wants to know how they're doing on the measures, you can select their name and run the measures, and it'll just pull the data for their patients. I'm going to show you what I typically run when I'm in here is, and I want to see how a hospital is performing on the recognition measures. So I just want to select a time period that I want to look at. And since this is a demo site and I know there's lots of information in here for 2017, I'm going to go from 2017. And then if you just click on the NSTEMI achievement measures, the STEMI achievement measures, and then this is the plus measure, the quality measure, this is going to give you everything that you need to see how you're doing on your recognition measures. If I was going in here and I know that we have, like, say, a concerning area, like say in NSTEMI, we're low on DAPT, you can just run that one. Or if I know, like, the evaluation of the LV systolic function is a problem area, I can just run those as well. Just for demonstration, I'm gonna do these three because these are the ones I'm looking at most frequently for recognition. And then I'm going to apply the parameters. And what this button does is it's just going to apply all these things that I selected. It's going to apply them to your data. And then I'm going to show you the different ways that you can print that information or pull that information back out. So this is giving me, just let you know kind of what we're looking at. Here's 2017 in this column. Here's 2018. We're not doing very well this year compared to last year, that's demonstration hospital. But it puts two measures on a page. So here you have like your NSTEMI ACE and ARB, your smoking cessation, and you can use this scroll bar to continue on down, and it's going to give you, two measures at a time as you scroll down. And then you're going to notice too, the second page, you're going to notice too, so here's NSTEMI, cardiac rehab, dual antiplatelet. Next one will have an NSTEMI on it, and then it moves into your STEMI measures, and it'll move all the way down to your plus measure on this graph. And then when you look down here, you're going to get your specifics. So you can see, I'm going to scooch this over. What's nice about this is you can manipulate this so that you can, there we go, so that you can see what you want to see. I'm just going to scooch some of this over so that I can see all of my numerators and denominators and percentages down here. And on this scroll bar, I can go up and down. If I want to, I can take over this area so I can see more of this. So it allows you a lot of flexibility in what you're able to look at. But this gives me all the numerators and denominators. Here's all the patients that were entered in 2017 and 2018, the numerators and denominators for each of the measures, and then the percent adherent. And so I'm just going to point something out. We used to use this a lot in the display options, the graph similar measures. And so this was changed up in the spirit of making things easier for all of us, but it actually kind of made it harder to read when we display the similar measures on one graph. And it's sort of very hard for me to interpret this information. So we've given that feedback. They're going to change it back, and it's on the list of things that's going to be changed. So just watch for that. It is easy to use when it's all on one graph and not a split graph. So I've stopped using the split graph for now, but just know that that's going to, if you liked that one, just know it's coming back, and they're going to put it back to the way it was previously. So now for getting the data out. So if you go up to this little hamburger and you go to export, it's going to give you a bunch of options for how you want to pull that information. And the upside to this new platform is there's a million different ways for you to get this data out. PDF, PowerPoint, sometimes you just like to take it into a meeting in a PowerPoint format already ready to go for you, so you're not cutting and pasting from a report. Sometimes you want it in PDF, and sometimes you want to export it into Excel. I know a lot of you work in Excel. You want to manipulate your numerators and denominators. So you have a whole bunch of different options. The downside to this is there's more steps involved to getting the data out. So I'm going to show you how to run each type of report. And I'm going to start with the PDF. And this is probably the one I use most frequently. But, you just click on PDF, and then you're going to want to come down here and select the active visualization. And once you do that, okay. There we go. Active visualization. And this is not doing what I wanted it to do. Let me go back. Okay. I think I'm confusing myself. I'm so sorry. I'm going to, let's go in. I'll go back to that one. Let's go into, let's do the PowerPoint. And I want to keep this as an active page when I do the PowerPoint. I am not getting my trellis. Okay, so I've got my active page. I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to show up down here on the bottom left-hand side of my screen. And then I can open it up, enable editing. I'm going to try the PDF again. Okay, I'm going to go back up. Okay, here we go. So now I'm seeing what I'm expecting to see, I think, because of the parameters that I had selected. Okay, so sorry about that. So to PDF, I'm going to collect my active visualization, and I'm going to get all trellis pages. This is what I was expecting to see. And this is going to, you're going to want to select this so that you get every page when you export. So I don't know if any of you have experienced where you have exported and you've just been able to export one page. This is what you want to select to get all of the pages in PDF. So your active visualization, export all trellis pages. And then you don't have to select any of these things. You can just export it as is, but you can also do you can make it fancy. You can narrow the margins. You can, change things up. But I'm just going to keep it simple. Just select Active Visualization, Export All Trellis Pages, and then I'm going to go to my Export button. And I'll show you what that looks like. And that's my favorite way to get the data out. I'll show you how to do it in PowerPoint too. But this is going to give you a PDF that has all the pages of the report on it. Okay. And oops. Now that I have an audience, I'm closed out completely. Okay. I'm going to go to my demonstration hospital again. And my report section, measures report. And I'm going to grab those same things again and show you how to do it in a PowerPoint. I'm going to grab 2017 and apply parameters. I will tell you that we are working on an easy button so that you'll be able just to click one place. We have made that request, so there's not quite so many. There will still be the same number of options, but it'll be easier to export the data. Okay, let's go get this in PowerPoint. So for this one, you're just going to keep your active page, new page for each visualization. And once again, you're going to get trellis panels and table rows not visible on the screen, and click OK. You're just going to need to remember to go in and get all of the, click on all the pages that you can't see. Otherwise, it thinks you want, what you can see in front of you, what you're looking at. And here you go. You've got it all in a PowerPoint slide set ready to take into your meeting. Okay. So let's look at minimize that for a minute. Let's say you want to look at let's find one where you're falling off out of the measure. So let's say you want to look more closely at your dual antiplatelet therapy because you're falling out for your NSTEMI patient. So if you click on it down here and click on the mark values, it'll display your case list. So here's the patient. Here's your case grade below. And you can adjust these by numerator and denominator here if you want to. It's easier to do it in Excel, and I'll show you how to pull this out in Excel. But just know that you can sort here as well. This will give you your numerators and your denominators, which patients were exclusions and exceptions. And then you can go right into the case here. So if I see someone who's not in the numerator, but is in the denominator, and I want to see what's going on with that patient, I can click here, and that'll take me directly into the patient case. So I can take a look and see if there's any edits needed. So if I want to get this information into an Excel, I'm going to export export it again. And I'm just going to leave it as an active page and export it. And I like this because it just makes it a lot easier to manipulate your numerators and denominators. Here's your measure details. There we go. Enable editing, but then you can start manipulating and you've got this information here for all of your measures, and then you've got your case list here. So this is just a nice way to be able to play with the data a little easier. And let's see, what else was I going to show you? I think that's everything. Yeah. Okay, so if you have any challenges with this, please reach out to us and let us help you. You know, we can send you a step-by-step guide for how to print these out. There's also a video in the library on how to print reports that's really helpful. And let me pass it back over to Kristen or to Michelle. I think we have another polling question.
And while everyone's working on that polling question, I want to point out that if you want to export to Excel or PDF or PowerPoint, you'll need to save that report before you close out of the registry. It's not available to save once you close out. So that's happened to me before, and I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kristen. Okay, can everybody see the polling question? If you click on the lower right-hand portion of your screen, it should pop up for you.
Michelle, do we have the results of the poll?
We can close it. We have 5 people agreeing with B as the correct answer.
Okay. So third quarter Mission Lifeline report data deadline is November 30th. Fourth quarter Mission Lifeline report data deadline is February 28th, 2018, which is also the deadline for 2019 award recognition. For those hospitals that are option 1 and option 2, you do have the ability to update your real-time daily refresh Mission Lifeline reports on a daily basis. So if you were option 3, which is static report only, where you're uploading your data, you need to make sure that you have all of your data entered by November 30th for third quarter and February 28th for fourth quarter. We would like for everybody to have their data in by these deadlines, but if you are option 1 and 2 and you get your Mission Lifeline report back and you realize something is way off, you do have the ability to go in and update your data, and it will refresh overnight. So Mission Lifeline reports. On the dashboard, when you log into the registry, under the library option, you click on that, and there is now a Mission Lifeline Regional Report Glossary, and this is what it looks like. And it goes through every single tab, and it's letting you know where the population's coming from, the exclusions, exceptions, numerators, any notes are off to the side. So you have that for every part of your Mission Lifeline reports. If you had any questions before, this is where you would look to see where they're getting the data from. And as Lonnie pointed out, you click on Operational Reports and then Mission Lifeline Reports, and you will see an option for the reporting period. So right now, you would see Q1 2018 or Q2 2018. And if you're an Option 1 or Option 2 hospital, then you also have the ability to click on Real-Time Daily Refresh. Once you click that, you can click on Apply Parameters. If you are a part of a regional report or maybe part of more than one regional report, you just select that as well. That will be an option right under the reporting period, and then Apply Parameters. So this is what your first tab will look like. This is just a sample report. Across the top, once the Mission Lifeline report comes up, there's a banner or a ribbon, and each one of those tabs is another report, and you can scroll over. There are more tabs than what you see when you first pull the report up. And in the subcategory, I want to point out, like percentage of transfer out, when you see a percent sign, then when you scroll over to your hospital or regional or state or national numbers, it will be in percent as well. So sometimes it's not percentage, but if you see the percent, like percent transferred out or percent of arrival to primary PCI within 90 minutes, that number will also be a percentage. The tab 2, STEMI Measures. So this is a quick way to look at where you're falling in on your STEMI measures. And this actually includes receiving and referral center measures. So like the ECG within 10 minutes of arrival, that's a referral center. It's a reporting for receiving center, but it's an achievement measure for referral centers. So those are mixed in, and I just wanted to point that out. So if you're a receiving center and arrival to thrombolytics within 30 minutes, if that's 0% because you didn't have any opportunities for that, it does not mean that you're falling out of the measure. It just doesn't apply to you. And then we have, there will be several graphs. I haven't included all of them, but I just wanted to point some of them out. This one is percentage of Mission Lifeline EMS first medical contact to PCI. So the very first blue bar is for your system, and then each additional bar represents a hospital. At the very bottom, you'll see, let's see, 1, 2, 3 blue bars and then a missing bar. There's nothing there. That hospital actually just didn't have any patients that applied to that measure. But you'll look over at the next to last lot, and it's missing, and it says 0%. So this particular hospital had an opportunity to meet this measure, and they did not. The stacked bar graph, where you can show your EMS time, your ER time, and your cath lab time. We have those graphs as well. And then transfer in, so your door in, door out for PCI within 120 minutes. And there are several graphs available. Some are regional averages, some are divided by, split by individual hospitals. I did not include all of them, but I did want to point them out. Here's your pre-hospital ECG. You could show this to your EMS agencies. And then I'm going to pass it back to Lonnie for updates.
Thanks, Kristen. So the deadline, for inclusion, if you want to be included in like that snapshot for your region for any of the quarters, that's where you need to get your data in by those quarterly data deadlines. But you are able to edit just wanted to clarify, you are able to edit any of your data up until February 28th before it's run for Mission Lifeline recognition. Just wanted to clarify. Okay, updates. So if you or if anyone from your hospital is going to scientific sessions, we wanted you to be aware that there's a really fun event planned for November 9th. It's in the evening and it's free. And we do ask that people register for it. But it's going to be a quality showcase, poster recognition, and networking event. If you haven't received that invitation and you're going to be there, or you know someone who's going to be there who might be interested, please reach out to us and let us know, and we'll get you the information. Just wanted you to be aware that the NSTEMI measure for dual antiplatelet therapy, something going on with that is that prasugrel or Effient is right now it's not in the NSTEMI measure as a guideline-based dual antiplatelet medication. And so when the platform was developed, prasugrel was not included in the algorithm, and you're going to notice that your prasugrel patients, if they receive prasugrel and aspirin and they're NSTEMI medically managed patients, they're currently falling out of the measure. And we just wanted you to know that the advisory committee for Mission Lifeline, feels like there's enough evidence to be including prasugrel, and so that will be included as an allowable measure, an allowable P2Y12 when your data is evaluated for 2019 recognition. So didn't want you to worry about those fallouts. We've been assured that that's going to be applied at the time of or before your data is run for recognition. And then, we still have hospitals struggling with cardiac rehab at times for their NSTEMI patients. Also wanted you to be aware that cardiac rehab is going to be added as a measure for your STEMI patients next year, starting with your 2019 data. So this is a resource that one of the directors shared with me about how to improve your adherence to cardiac rehab referrals. And there's this really nice toolkit that's available on this website. It's really an outcome of the work that the Million Hearts group has done, which we're a part of. That there's a nice toolkit or cardiac rehab change package is what they're calling it, that's available for free that you can download from this website if that's something that your hospital is struggling with. Okay, the pricing for Get With the Guidelines CAD is out for 2019. We're not changing the price. We're not increasing the price. It's the same as it was this year. For option 1, which gives you the most flexibility to do direct data entry and full access to real-time reports, and the functionality that I was just showing, the reporting functionality, is $3,250 for the year. And then option 2 is for hospitals that use an authorized vendor for upload. We give you a little bit of a price cut because we know you're also paying a vendor to do the data upload for you. And so that also allows you to go in and do the real-time reports, and it's all gives you all the reporting functionality, and you're able to just have that flexibility as well. It's just that you have a vendor that's entering your data in for you. And then option 3 is a $500 option. It's the most limited option. The data has to be entered via CSV upload or an authorized vendor, and then you also only receive a static Mission Lifeline report once a quarter, so you're not able to go in and run the data like I was just showing. But wanted you to be aware of that for budgeting purposes for those of you that are involved with that. And then we are offering for our option 3 facilities a free trial of option 1 or 2 through the rest of this year. So if you're an option 3 hospital and you want to take advantage of that, let your doctor know, and we can make that happen for you. If you don't know which option you are, reach out to us, reach out to your director, and we can look that up for you and help you understand which option you are now. This slide just lists out your local QSI directors if you're not sure who that is for your region. They're here. You can also always reach out to swaquality@heart.org with any questions, and they'll be routed to the appropriate director for your region. And Kristen already addressed the Dido question. This is pulled directly from the guidelines. It's listed as door in, door out at the referring hospital in less than or equal to 30 minutes, but we know that only about 20% of the referring hospitals across the nation are able to meet that goal, which is why we set the bar at 45 minutes for Mission Lifeline recognition. I think that's the last slide. So any questions? And you can either enter them into the chat box, or you can come off mute by hitting *6, not #6, but *6 to come off mute and ask a question. So we'll just open the floor up for any questions that anyone might have. Okay, anybody want to weigh in on the timing of our Quality Exchange meetings? So they're 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Is this working for everyone? Would it be better to move it to a noon call? Any thoughts about that? Any preferences?
Lonnie, we do have a comment. They would prefer noon, but it would be okay to stay at 8.
Okay.
Would anybody else prefer noon? Others agree with the 8 a.m. call.
Agree with keeping it at 8 a.m.
Second for 8 a.m.
8 a.m. is in the lead. If anyone else has a preference, please type it in. I see a question about the optional fields. So we have in this platform kind of a unique ability to allow hospitals to enter data into up to 50 optional fields. So if there's something in particular that you're tracking for your facility, you can create an optional field for it and type it in. Because we realize that those fields, oftentimes you're entering in perhaps data that's sensitive or might contain PHI. That's something that we can't see on our side. It's only something that you can see on your side. But the question is about when, I think the question is about when will that be available to be able to pull back like into an Excel spreadsheet. So we're not currently able to, we don't have that functionality for hospitals right now, but it is coming, and it is on the list of requests that we have made to IQVIA, which is the company that runs the platform for us. So hopefully soon, and we'll let you know as soon as we hear that that's been updated. We are also hearing that some nice feedback reports for EMS and referring hospitals. We're hoping that those will be available by the first of the year. So that'll be a really nice addition, make things simpler for everyone. And I stopped being able to see the any questions. Has any other comments or questions come in, Michelle?
Not so far.
Okay, Kristen, anything else to add before we close out, or Michelle?
On my part, great. On my part, just a reminder that the slides and the recording will be sent out within 1 week of this presentation.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.